Okay, good afternoon. My name is Andrea, and I'm serve as assistant principal at Slater, and I'm going to be conducting our meeting today in lieu of both our principal and our chair of Go Team being out and unable to attend. So before we start the meeting, we'll go ahead and do a roll call of who is here. Give me one moment. All right. We already know that Principal Miles is not here. Christine Owens.
Here.
Thank you. Latoya Wiggins. Erica Luckett. Allison Tolman.
Present.
Janet Lovelace.
Here.
And we also have Miss Denise Williams, who is unable to attend today. I'm going to go ahead and share our agenda for today. We have a very short agenda, and then we'll get a motion to accept the agenda for today. Okay, is everybody able to see this agenda?
Yes.
Okay, great. Give you a moment to look at it, and if I can get a motion to accept and approval of the agenda for today.
I make a motion to accept the approval for the agenda today.
I second the motion.
Thank you. With the agenda, we're also going to amend the approval of the previous minutes. That file is not ready. So at our first meeting for the 2026-2027 school year, we will get approval of the previous minutes, and at that time we will have a quorum, so we'll be able to make sure that we get the proper approval for that. Without further ado, we'll go into our discussion item for today, which is our upcoming school improvement plan. I'll go ahead and share that with the team, and then we will go from there. All right, hopefully everyone is able to see our action plan. This information was provided to Atlanta Public Schools within the last month. And our overall goal, we have SMART goals. And the first SMART goal is here at the top. By the end of the 26-27 school year, Slater will increase the percentage of students in grades 3-5 scoring developing and above to 75% of the FAY, which is full academic year total, and those scoring at proficient and above to 35% of the FAY total on the spring, and it should be spring 2027 in end of grade math, by ensuring that students consistently have the opportunity to engage with lessons and activities that are fully aligned to the intent of their grade level standards. Although we cannot, the math results from our spring 26 GMAS are embargo, we are not able to discuss what they are. Just looking at those results as a school, we want to make sure that we're continuing the momentum of what we have been doing with our students in the area of math. One of the things that we've been doing this year in the area of math is we had our lunch and learn sessions. So those lunch and learn sessions provide an opportunity outside of tier 1 instruction in the classroom for our students to get additional support for that 30-minute time block with an individual. This year when we did it, we were doing it where people from the administrative team were working with students during that time. We are looking to expand that to look at possibly getting support outside of the administrative team, because schedules, the responsibilities, that might not be something that we want to make sure is sustainable. We don't want it to go to the wayside. So one thing we're going to be looking at is possibly reaching out to some of the local colleges that are in the area, having them coming in once or twice a week to work with a set group of students based off of their fall MAP scores when they come back, and looking at the GMAT scores of our third and fourth grade students, our current third and fourth grade students, to see who would need additional support. So when we're looking at some of the strategies to make sure that we are going to meet that goal for math, that's one strategy that I just talked about. These are some other action steps that you can see. They will align on a common understanding of academic, what is academic rigor. So when we say that, we want to make sure that no matter what classroom you're going to, the level of rigor is consistent through all of the classes. So it's not more rigorous in one than the other, making sure that there's a common understanding of the teachers, and we're providing professional learning to make sure that we have a common understanding of what rigorous instruction at the tier 1 level looks like. Another piece of another action step is an instructional coaches and the building administration will structure the PLCs, which are our collaborative planning times. And they focus on lesson standard internalization and teacher practice. So what you'll see in the collaborative planning is not so much trying to plan lessons, but looking at the lessons that are already planned, making sure that the activities and the learning that's aligned to the standard are showing that rigorous instruction that we talked about earlier, making sure that everybody's on the same page. And although you're going to have students who are not at the same level from class to class, because of course we're dealing with different children who might have different gaps in their learning. However, we want to make sure that the rigor is meeting the needs of all of those students. So that is some of the things that you'll see when you're coming into collaborative planning, no matter the grade level. And then also we're going to have instructional coaches and teachers will ensure that classroom activities and instructional delivery are aligned to the intent and rigor of the Georgia Standards of Excellence. So when we look at the standards and we make sure that those ALDs are aligned to the activities that have been planned for teachers, we want to make sure that that rigor is showing there. So these are 3 action steps that we're definitely going to make sure that we're doing to meet that goal. And of course, we have the people responsible, the principal, instructional coaches, and the dean of academics, along with the classroom teachers. We're all going to be in collaboration to make sure that all of these things are going towards that direction. When we talk about that action step, we want to look at our subgroup, and our subgroup for Slater are students with disabilities. So when we're talking about our students with disabilities will have small group instruction. We want to continue the small group instruction that we've already have in place with all tier 1 students. But when we're specifically talking about our students who are identified through an accommodation or a 504 plan, we want to make sure in that small group we are meeting the specific needs of those students so that they're also getting that rigorous instruction that we expect at the tier 1 level, no matter the grade level, no matter if you are identified and have an IEP or a 504, we want to make sure that rigor is happening. And that with that, the Dean of Student Support will be able to provide a little bit more intensive identification of the rigor and making sure that the rigor is happening for our students who have been identified either with an IEP or a 504. When we're talking about family engagement under this particular goal, we want to make sure that we're sharing strategies at home with our families so that they also understand what's happening in the school and how they can support at home. And what we'll be doing is we'll continue with having events at the school level that we had this year. We had different parent nights in the first semester and the second semester, directly tied to a content area or a grade level focus. We want to make sure that we continue those outreach efforts so that parents they have an understanding of what is actually happening in the classroom, and if they want a better understanding of how they can help at home, how we can provide some support of the things that the students could be doing at home to get better, because a lot of this is that students are just going to need continuous practice. So that is when we're looking at the goals. This is in the area of math and for literacy. We want to make sure that both of these are happening. And we have the strategy that we're going to be using of really focusing on rigorous instruction during that time. And I want to make sure that I am hitting goal number 1 also. So this is goal number 1, which talks about the literacy. So again, you'll see that some of the same action steps that you saw in math are also taking place in literacy. And if you look at the different action steps for the goal for goal number 1 is by the end of 26-27 school year, Slater will increase the percentage of students in grades 3 through 5 scoring at developing and above to 60% of the FAY total, and those scoring at proficient and above to 30% of the FAY total in the spring 2027 EOG in English language arts by ensuring that students consistently have the opportunity to engage with lessons and activities that are fully aligned to the intent and rigor of the grade level standards. One of the things that we are going to continue to do is really encourage the independent reading with students. We've ordered new books for the year, and we want to help teachers build that classroom library so that when students are choosing the books they want to read during DEAR time, they're looking at it from a Lexile level. So this year, when we did DEAR, we assigned the books to the classrooms. And that was the book that the entire grade level was reading. What we want to do for next year is give each of the classrooms several leveled books so that if you have students who are not at grade level Lexile where they can read independently, we're still providing you with resources where they can read books and they're going to work their way up. We don't want anyone reading below their Lexile, but we do want students reading at their Lexile level and above. We want to be able to help students chart their progress throughout the year so they can also see their growth. One of the other action steps we want to make sure is instructional coaches, building administrators will structure, again, the collaborative planning to make sure that we're focusing on that, and as well as the rigor as it is to the Georgia Standards of Excellence. This year was our first year with ELA. We do not know what the scores are or how our students did. We probably won't know until late summer because they are new standards. Once we get that data back, we'll be able to look at it a little bit more intently just to see areas of improvement that we would like to see for this year. We'll collaborate to see what things went well, what things didn't go well, what we would like to improve upon for the upcoming year so that we are making those gains in ELA and math. And again, we are going to make sure that we are identifying those subgroups and making sure that we are seeing that intentional level of rigor, not just with our students who have been identified with the IEP or 504, but across tier 1 instruction, period. And the same thing with our family engagement. We want to make sure that we are keeping our families informed about the instructions happening in the classroom so they can also provide that support at home. I want to stop right there to see if there are any questions from the team regarding the school improvement plan that has been presented so far.
I have a question about the family engagement, the things that we do, like the curriculum nights. Will we have like, I'm just trying to figure out how we can reach more parents because it's good things that we're trying to give them. Anything that we thought about to include in our plan to have more outreach for them?
Yeah, that's a great question. Right now, I think that anything's on the table. So if there are ideas that we have not done so far beyond the curriculum nights and so forth, let's put them out there for the upcoming year so that we can plan for it, because any outreach that will get our families in will be helpful so they can understand what's happening in the classroom. But I don't think at this point anything is totally, out of reach within reason. So if anybody has an idea, when we have those meetings, let's bring it to the table so we can start planning for it and that we can start that outreach so that we can get more of our families in.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments regarding the school improvement plan for next year. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the share at that point. That ends the discussion part of what we were, of the meeting for today. There are no informational updates that we have. This is the last week of school. So the only announcements that we really have are that we're continuing with our awards day programs that are going on this week. Today we had our pre-kindergarten or kindergarten awards day. Tomorrow is first and second grade. Thursday is going to be our third and fourth grade, and we're going to conclude the week, which is Friday, the last day of school, with our fifth grade. That's going to be in the Carver STEAM auditorium. All other programs are here at Slater. We encourage our families to make sure students are coming to those programs. Attendance is still a part of our CCRPI. So even though, we've had the programs, we still need our kids to come to school so that our CCRPI does not drop tremendously. And I know that's, people want to start their vacations, but the CCRPI score is important for the school. So we want the students to still come. So with that being said, the time is now 4:52, and I will ask if there's anybody that would like to put a motion to adjourn our final GO-TEAM meeting for today.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Nick.
I make a motion to adjourn our final GO-TEAM meeting for the year.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. This is our last GO-TEAM meeting for this year. GO-TEAMs will begin again in late August, early September. We will come back, and I encourage all of our families to check our website to make sure they're up to date on all of our meeting dates coming up for the new school year. We want to thank everybody for their support in GO-TEAMs, and we hope you have a great summer. Thank you.